Welcome to part one of my story. The story is a little out of the norm to some, and very out of the norm to many. I'm going to start back in spring of 2012. I had a big house in Bridgeport, 3 floors. I had a nice girl at the time, which was my ex-fiance, for which things did not work out. We were living upstairs on the top floor, and I started to seeing things with my eyes closed at night in bed. And what I saw would have scared the living daylights out of anybody. Just imagine yourself laying in bed, your eyes closed. You see a human-shaped figure. Look at your light bulb right now. Same color. Yellow. Bright. But with my eyes closed. I would open my eyes. They're not there. I close my eyes. And I would see these beings walk by. Sometimes one at a time, sometimes 2 at a time. I would be trying to fall asleep and I would see these things walking by. At first, it was kind of cool. It's kind of different. I thought it was my grandmother because maybe she had just passed away and she was visiting me. I didn't know who they were at this time. So, I began to look at different things online about paranormal and ghosts, aliens. At this time I was looking at aliens came into my mind. So I started to look at different topics about aliens and learned all about the different supposed races of aliens that are out there, and I gave it my best try to understand.
Introducing the next generation.
Who they were, what they are, where they come from, and they were nowhere to be found, these light beings that I was seeing. So, as time went on, I would learn about this guy named Billy Meier, who would be in contact with a race called the Pleiadians. And he believes that there's no God, but there's something called creation. So at this time, I was not much of a God person because I felt that God abandoned me. I've gone through so much heartache in my life, bad childhood. Tried to go to the Navy, that didn't work out because of different issues, my health. Wanted to be a police officer, that didn't work out. Tried being a car salesman, hopped from job to job, that never worked out. So, at this time, I had a house of which was being paid for by my ex's father, of which was his house that he owned. He owned multiple houses. And, you know, I just didn't really get the respect from the family or nothing like that. I didn't have a job or anything special of that nature. So, you know, I wanted to do better with my life, and I began to search for a job that paid money because car sales wasn't working out. Well, I hit the jackpot. I found a job as a stockbroker, and I got the stockbroking job, and I was, you know, guaranteed to make $100,000 in the first year. Everybody made it. You know, it was something that was well known. I was a good salesperson. There was about 30 to 40 people in the interview, and they only chose maybe 3 or 4. David Lerner and Associates, Westport, Connecticut. So, at this time, I was believing in the Billy Meyer creation theory. You can look that up, Google. You know that everything goes into this creation. You're a big life cycle, and you just keep getting reborn to learn, and you progress and progress and progress and progress. So I kind of bought into it. I was like, wow, that kind of makes some sense. You know, makes a lot of sense. You know, I was raised Roman Catholic. Church really never did anything for me. And I just was one of those people that believed in God. And I believed in aliens. Can't say I still don't. It's a big universe. And anyways, back to the story of the walking light bulbs. These beings started to walk around in my room for about 2 to 3 months. And they got really annoying and scary at some point. So what I did was, I had this fake Burberry scarf I bought from a flea market, and tied it around my head, put it around my eyes, like so, and I'm just sleeping there. I don't see any of the walking light bulbs in the human form. And all I can remember is I'm laying there for about a half hour, pretending I'm asleep. And then I went like this, real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, the most incredible experience of the supernatural in my life, that I've ever witnessed in my life, took place. From there, I saw my dead best friend in front of me. His name's John. And just the way I look right now, you see me? He looked just like this. He says, someone wants to talk to you. And I said, okay. And I was saying, all this time, it was you walking around in this room, wasn't it? And he just laughed. He says, hold up. Someone needs to talk to you. All of a sudden, looking over this way, in my room, my eyes are open at this time. This is the only time my eyes were ever open. Look in the corner. I start seeing what looked like these hologram images, but very clear. Different spaceships. All different types of spaceships. If I had to compare it to something, it would be Star Wars. Not your classic UFO. These things were really, really intricate and detailed and exotic, never seen before in my life. If I had to draw one, I could never do it. I can only describe what I saw. Anyways, 4 or 5 different images started going through it. The next thing I remember is this, what I would think would be an alien at this time, comes in the room. Just materializes in the room. in the corner. And I seen him with my eyes open. But I closed my eyes out of respect. And I remember I could still see the being behind my eyes. And what happened from then? This being says to me, Michael, we've been watching you. And I said, watching me for what? He replies, I think it was a he. Couldn't tell the sex of the being. But it seemed male. Replies to me, you have some pretty exotic thoughts about God and different things. We're very interested in the way that you think. We like the way you speak about your world and the problems. We've been listening in. If I had to describe this being to you, notice my head. Notice my hands. This wide in the head. Okay? And then it went down into this. So here, up around. Kind of like an upside down triangle with chins, curves on each side. And it had the eyes. That big. And do you see the way my eye looks? That's how its eye looked to me. You see that shine in the middle? How it's lighting up? That is how eyes looked. I remember looking at it, and I remember saying, you're the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. The most beautiful eyes. And they radiated peace and love. And they were just so loving and compassionate. Part 2 coming up.